And here's chat. Let me do the chat. Let me start with, okay, I'm gonna go off the, so I sent you guys some stuff. Hopefully everybody got the things done that were, that I asked about, installing Git Desktop and getting a GitHub account. Did everybody get that done?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you had trouble with that, somebody is connecting Anastasia. Hopefully she can get on. Well, I just put a link here in the chat to the document. So I started with, I taught a short course on this once. I used to teach a lot of these short courses where we would do Python. And in fact, I'd love to do more of that with a research group eventually. But I once did a section on GitHub. And so it's a good training. And so I wanted to go through a little bit of that right now. And I want to go ahead and get started because you know, we don't have that much time, so I don't want to waste too much time here. So I started with that lesson and I kind of condensed it into that document that I just put a link to on Google Drive. So you can download that document right now if you want that for later. And then you have the link that I sent you. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started here. So I'm going to share my screen. So just before we start, I guess so we're going to be collaborating maybe a little bit on updating for the CapSim program. So the students that are all on here, I think all of them are working, except for Boyoung, on this EPA P3 project. So we have a project right now where we're actually looking at, we're going to use CapSim eventually. Not development, just use it. So, but Boyoung and Hossein have some experience with Python, so they may be involved with some of the development. And the other students I thought could benefit from this, so they're trying to learn a little bit. So anyway, so if we're going to work together, and they're in Lubbock and we're in Chicago, how are we going to do this? That's why we need GitHub. GitHub is designed specifically for groups to collaborate on software development. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that. So let me just share my screen here. I think it'll be the easiest thing. Where's the, okay, I'm just gonna share the whole screen. So let's see, where's my document? Here it is. Okay, so before class, hopefully everybody got a GitHub account. If you haven't done that, please go do it right now. And let me just say in advance, I do not consider myself an expert on GitHub by any means. So I'm going to do my best here, but there's, I think, only about a 20% chance that we'll get through this without some problem for at least one of you that is going to stop you from being able to participate. So you can keep watching if that happens, but we probably aren't going to have time. I simply am not going to be able to fix it fast enough if you have a problem. But I'm going to do my best here. So this is a bit of an experiment. But you need a GitHub account. So if you don't have that, sign up for it. I had some trouble when I was working with my GitHub. They're always changing these things. And so my stuff was older, but I think I have it set up on my end. And then GitHub. So GitHub is a place. So Git, let's start with Git. Git is a programming language you can use to keep up with changes on a document or on software. So I want to emphasize that you don't have to know anything about programming to learn how to use Git. So it's kind of a programming language. GitHub is a website where you can keep things, software packages that uses Git basically. So you need a GitHub account if you want to put stuff on the web. Once you put it up there, then people can find it all over the world. And I'll show you mine here. My GitHub profile. I've got like 18 repositories on here now. One of these, this PyHSPF one, is a big package that I wrote, and I've got, as you see here, I've got 64 people that have used it all over the world, and I don't even know most of them. I only know a few. So this is another one I'd love for somebody to take up the mantle of trying to work with. But you put it up here, and basically people can find it and use it. It's a way that you can become well known, and it works really well for scientific software where you want to make it kind of open. to the public so that they can understand what it is. You know, if you say I have a secret program that nobody understands what it does, well, then who's going to want to use that for science or for like public decision making about the environment? This can't be secret. So it doesn't, like Microsoft stuff is secret. It's all proprietary. So GitHub is for open software, and it works really well for science and for environmental stuff. So this is one package, and then this other one is CapSim. That's what we're going to be working on, and this is at least one version of it. If you look at it, it's got all these different directories and all these different files, and they're written, anything with the .py is a Python. And it's a big complicated software package. And so by putting it up here on GitHub, this should make it more available to people all over the world to use it, and then they can make their changes. They can also help fix problems as they come. But anyway, so those are some things that are on here. I have a few others that are kind of useful. Boyoung right now is going to be working on a paper we're going to try to do with this column tracer model. And you can actually see this is a Jupyter notebook, which is a way to run Python that I have up here. We may look at that one in a minute. It's got this, like, you can make this is something you can do in Python where we're looking at like transport through a column and wanting to predict the effluent. And anyway, so this is another thing I have on GitHub. There's lots of stuff that's up here. Anytime you start a new project where you're doing some software, you may want to make a GitHub page. And so I've made a couple that we're going to work with today. So that's a little bit about GitHub. Let's see. So let me go back to the training. Why do you want to use GitHub? So this is a PhD comic that kind of illustrates that. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it better. So it says, oh, this is final.doc. And then here's the professor looks at it and says, oh no. And so they changed the name to a new file, final rev2.doc. And then it goes more changes. And then final rev6, and then final rev8 comments correct, So people use all these different file names, and it's a real common problem when you're trying to work with other people, even with yourself, where you have newer versions of things and you may have changed something here and not changed something there. And you're trying to figure out how to make it all fit together in the final document where everything is corrected. And so GitHub is a way to do all that. And it's very important for software where, some group, like a group at Texas Tech, may want to change the solver. A group at OSU may want to change something from Python 2 to Python 3. So we're doing two different things, and we want to make sure that all those changes come together in the final document, in the final product that work. So this kind of illustrates, this is a good figure I saw in the lesson that I took this from, where you want to keep track of changes, and it shows like you started here and you add this line to the bottom, or you add more lines, and each time you can kind of keep track of those changes with GitHub. You may want to merge different changes together. This has a change in between these first two lines, and down here, change at the end, and you put them together. And then another really important part of GitHub is that it allows you to resolve conflicts. So here you can see how both of these tried to make changes that, well, here, I guess this doesn't show it as well as I thought. But sometimes what can happen is you may both change a thing at the same time, and then you need to merge that. And so you need a way to kind of manage all that. Anyway, and so GitHub is really useful for helping, like if you want to explore a change, you can do it with GitHub, and you don't have to worry about the change causing problems, because you can always go back in time to an older version. So that's kind of motivation for why to learn it. In the document here, I've got a few key things. We're going to go over what these terms mean in Git today. So you have this as a summary thing, but ultimately there's a lot of training online. So we'll see how it goes. So to get started, everybody, what I want to do first is go ahead and open up a Git Shell. And so like on my computer, I have the Git desktop installed. I guess you can do a lot of this stuff without the command line, but I kind of think it's better that you learn the command line, and then you can try to do it with a GUI later. A GUI is a user interface. So I'm going to go down here to, actually I'm going to search for Git Shell, and hopefully everybody do that. Why doesn't everybody give me a thumbs up if you're able to open up Git Shell here? Let me go back and make this smaller so I can read it. I only have one. I'm working at home today, so I only have one computer screen. I could really use a second. Okay, so here's my, maybe I can make the font a little bit smaller. Okay. So this is my Git Shell. Give me a thumbs up in the chat here if you were able to get Git Shell open and you have, or if you have any questions. Go ahead and ask questions at any time. Any questions right now?
Actually, I was trying to open it directly from command line, and so do I have to download like extra part?
Well, you can use it directly from the command line, but you need to have Git installed.
Yeah, I installed the Git. I was wondering, like, do I have to? Is there a special?
Let me show you now. Yeah. It may work. I ran into some trouble when I tried to do it from the command line. So right now I have. You don't have Git Shell. Oh, okay. So people are saying that. So if you go here, to like Git, I have it under my GitHub incorporated. Is that not an option on?
No. If I just downloaded it today, and it was just showing a GitHub desktop, and not the others. Yeah, maybe I should reinstall it.
Well, okay, we got to brainstorm here quickly. Let me.
So
the other option is Git. Oh, Boyan, what were you going to say?
So I don't have it either. So I use PowerShell instead. It's okay. I think it's good.
I think that actually it is PowerShell is kind of behind this. It just has Git in it. So there should be like a Git bash Windows. I'm trying to remember. Let's see here. Is this it? This looks like a command line. I don't know. So you guys were able to get it to work with PowerShell? I guess open up PowerShell. So here's like my command prompt. Can you see my command prompt right now? So if I type git version, I can run git commands from my command prompt. Most likely you need to configure your environment variables if you want to do it that way. Can you guys see if that works for those two of you that have it installed?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I think for everyone else, try either Git Bash or PowerShell. Just give that a shot. Let's take like 1 or 2 minutes and get that installed really quickly. I should have said that before I started talking about the other, I guess. Okay, so but Boyoung and Shalon, you guys both got it. You were able to run Git version, and it seems to be working.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so so that's good. So I think you can follow along with that. You guys will probably be able to figure it out. So anyway, I think this is PowerShell basically that's kind of behind this. They used to have the Git bash with it. So I had an older version. Maybe this is, it carried on, and it wasn't, when I updated mine, it kept that old version, but when you installed a new one, it didn't have it yet, it sounds like. So anyway, so from here, yeah, I can type git, git and then -- version. This will tell me like the version of GitHub the version of Git that I had. So 2.14, yours may look different. I can also type things in the command prompt, like I can type pwd, and that will tell me the current working directory. So this is C:users GitHub. And so this tells me kind of where I'm located when I'm at the command prompt now. Okay, Monica was able to run Git commands from the prompt. Everybody else, just, yeah, try to get that installed, open it up and see if you can do Git version. And if you get stuck again, then tell me and we can try to get it fixed real quick, okay? Okay, but so from PowerShell, so if I type git and then something, that means it's a git command. So from here, I can type some commands that may not be git. I can type lots of things, like pwd is print working directory. It doesn't have anything to do with git. I could also type like ls or maybe dir. either one of those should tell you what's in that current folder. So this one here, it says C:users documents GitHub. If I pull that open here, I'm going to need to minimize this. So right now, hopefully you can see my, my Windows Explorer. And so if I go to Documents, GitHub, you can see that it has 5 directories. And if when I typed dir here, this shows those 5 directories. I can make like a new file in here if I like right click and then click a text document like hello. And now if I go back over here and I type dir again, it shows that hello file was created and it's just an empty file. Now I can delete it and it's gone. Okay, dir, it's no longer there. And so, you know, again, this is C:users Dave documents GitHub, and I have these GitHub things in there. And when I type dir, it shows me the same thing. So everybody, when you open it up, you should be able to figure out where you're at. Let's say that I want to go inside one of these, like PyHSPF. This is this software I've been working on. I go inside, you can see that it has 5 directories and some other files. So I can change from the place where I'm at now to go inside there with a command called cd, change directory. And then I want to go inside PyHSPF. So I'm going to type py, and then you can actually, when you start typing, you can hit the tab button, and it should take you there. So if I hit enter now, you can see here how I'm inside PyHSPF, and if I type dir, it shows me what's inside there, and it's the same thing that's inside this Windows Explorer directory. Okay, any questions about that? Everybody good? Okay, is everybody able to open the command prompt and type dir and git version and get that to work? Because I'm going to go forward now. Okay, seeing nothing. Okay, so let me go back. I'm going to change. So let's say I want to go back up a level. So here I'm inside of this PyHSPF directory. Let's say I want to go back to GitHub. I can do that with ... cd ... goes up. Okay, and then I can do cd .. That actually just is the current directory. ... means to the current one. So up here, I had /PyHSPF. That shows that I'm basically going into a folder in the current directory. That's what that means. Okay, so that's a little bit about navigating in and out of directories. And so again, those are commands that don't have anything to do with Git. That's just moving around in the command prompt. That's really all you need to know how to do for what we're doing right now. From that. And so again, I could type git version. This is a command that shows me some info about Git. Okay, and let's now do Git Config List. Okay, so Git Config. So what this is going to do is show us the settings, the configuration of our Git. Okay, so I'm going to type Git config and then --list. Okay. So config has more than one choice. One of these is just going to be to list out the current settings. That's what this is going to do. And so if you're looking at my Git, this shows all this stuff. I don't really know what even most of this is, but the key ones here to look at are, it shows that my user.name is David Lampert, and then my email is this IIT email address. And so this information is going to be important when we want to connect what we're doing on the computer to what's happening on the GitHub on the internet. All right. So everybody, give me like a thumbs up if you can, if you're able to get that to work. There's a thumbs up thing in your Zoom. If you go down to reactions, I've done this before. Let's see if you do. I don't see it now on mine. It's because I'm doing screen share. There should be like a place in the reactions where you can have it add the thumbs up. But anyway, if you're struggling, just let me know in the prompt or speak up or something. Okay, so let me keep moving forward here. We already lost 20 minutes. So settings. So Git Config List lists the current settings. Let's say that I want to change my email address. I'm not going to change that one actually. Let's say I want to change my name. So if I want to do that, I can type git config, and then, so what we're going to do is we're going to tell it we're going to configure to change this. And so user.name is a variable. So user.name, And then I'm going to change it right now to just Dave. And I have to put that in quotes, basically to tell it that that's the value that I'm changing it to. So if I don't put it in quotes, it assumes that Dave is like something it already knows, and it's going to tell me it doesn't know that, okay? So I type that, and it should have done it now. And if I do Git Config List again, which I can do, you can go back to old commands, should be by just pushing the up button. So the last command, when I push up one time, is the one I just did. If I push it a second time, it goes back to list. If I push it a third time, you see it goes up here to version. Okay, so I'm going to go back to list. And now when I do that, it should show, oh, it actually didn't change my name. See, so there's still things I don't know. I'm not sure what happened there. That's really weird. Well, I changed this before and it worked. I don't know what happened this time. Let's see, git config. Still gets to where I'm. Global. So I needed another thing. So I can go back to that command really quickly. -- global. Okay, and now if I push up twice and list it, there it is. Now user.name has been changed to Dave. Okay, so everybody go in and make sure that your name and your email are consistent with what you have on your GitHub account. Okay, there's also user.name. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is so weird. Okay, but so now I'm going to change it back. User.name is David Lampert. Okay, and then if I list it again by pushing the up button twice, user. I didn't have the global. There we go. Okay. Yeah, now it's been changed back to David Lampert. Okay, so everybody, hopefully you were able to go in and look at your username and you could change it. And you want to make sure that it's the same as what you have with your GitHub account. Okay. Whatever you signed up for, because otherwise you're going to have trouble communicating with it. Okay, any questions? Is that easy?
Professor?
Yes.
If you want to add the email, is there a procedure for that? If the email
if yours is empty, so it'd be the same. So you're going to type, let me see here. Where is my shell? It's not showing up. Yeah, this is really not, I really need two screens for this and I don't have them at home. There we go. So if I want to change the email, what I would do is I would go git config -- global. So global means it's going to change it for any project that you work on. I guess you can have something that's specific for one project. I showed you that I have like 17 up there on mine. If you want to change it for your email, so it's user.email. So you'll do git config global and then user.email, and then change it to like whatever email address that you want to put there. I'm not going to run this command because I don't want to change. I'm afraid I might screw up the settings on mine. But if yours is blank, you need to set that to be the same as your account. Okay. And there's actually another one that, let me double check here in the, yeah, these are the ones that it says you need, and those should be the only two. So make sure that these two are the same. User.name, he uses an example of Vlad Dracula here, but you need to use your name for that, okay? So this is the command. All right, any other questions? Were you able to get that to work, Hiba?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. And then you can see that it's been changed when you do git config list. All right, so let's start using it here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a directory called planets. So from the command line, you should be able to type mkdir. This means make directory, and call it planets. Okay, and Oh, so in my case, see, I got an error message showing that it already exists. So so if you look here in my Explorer, planets is already there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete that. All right. And so you can also make a directory by just doing like new folder. You could do it from there too. It doesn't matter. Okay. So I'm going to do it. Try this again. I'll push the up button and hit enter. And now it's made it. And now it's a new empty directory. Okay. The next thing we want to do is we want to go into that directory. So I can go inside it here and it's empty because we haven't done anything yet. And so remember, we can do CD, and if I start typing planets, I can type the whole thing out. Once you start typing it, you can hit tab and it will finish it for you. That way it prevents you from having like a typo that could be a problem. And so now we're inside planets. And if I type like dir or ls, you see nothing comes out because it's got nothing in it right now. Okay, was everybody able to do that? Okay, so now what we want to do is we're going to type git. So remember, dir and make directory, these don't have anything to do with GitHub. They're just making that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to type git init, init. So this means we're going to initialize a new repository. Okay, and so that's what the message down here says, initialized empty repository in there. And so what this actually does is it's going to make a folder that's hidden. It has this dot here in front of it. And this is going to keep track of all the history of changes that we make to this folder. So when you type git init, you're saying, I want to keep track of history. All right. And so now we're going to start making changes and we'll look at how you keep track of those. Everybody good so far? Let me know if you had trouble creating a folder, getting in the folder and typing git init. Sounds like none. Great. Okay. So one command we would use a lot in Git is called status. So I'm going to type git status. This is going to tell me basically what's going on. And so the first time I type it here, there's not much information provided. It says no commits yet. So what this is basically saying is we started tracking history, but we haven't actually recorded anything yet. Okay. So you start by creating an init file where you can this git init folder that's going to keep track, but then we haven't done anything yet. All right. So what we want to do now is we want to create something so that we can keep track of it. So I'm going to create a file called called mars.txt. So if you have a text editor, you should be able to type something like that from the command prompt. Like I installed Notepad++. So if I type that and then I type mars.txt, this will open up a new file called mars.txt in the editor. This is to do it from the command prompt, okay? And you'll see what happens when I do that. Oh, enter. Okay, and so this is giving me a message saying that the file doesn't exist yet. Okay, if we go look over here, it's not there. And it's asking me if I want to create this new file. And I'm going to say yes. And so now you see that it created this file here. That's if you do it from the text editor. You don't have to do it there. You could also just like right click here and make a new text document and call it Mars. Either one of those is fine. And that's going to make the document. Everybody try to do that. Once you've created it, then go in and type this phrase here, cold and dry, but everything is my favorite color. So basically, this file is going to keep track of my observations of what's going on the planet Mars. Okay, so I'm just going to copy that right in there. And you have all this stuff in the document that I sent if you want to copy and paste it, but you can also just type. And it doesn't matter if you don't copy exactly what I write here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this file and I'm going to close this. Okay, and I'm going to go back to the command prompt here. I'm going to type dir. And that's going to show me what's in that directory, just like we've been doing. And this shows me here that we're in this directory planets, and now it has this one file called mars.txt. And now if I type git status, it's going to show me here that we haven't recorded history yet. So in GitHub, a commit is basically a save point. That's what you want to think of. We're going to save what's happened in the file up to this point. Thus far, we haven't saved anything, but what it tells me is that there's a new file here called mars.txt, and we haven't kept track of it yet. Okay, so that was several steps. Let me know, everybody give me a thumbs up or something to let me know that you got through and made that file and that you ran status and you saw it there.
So I'm at a
question. Go
I'm
ahead.
at a problem. So I was trying to open a Notepad++, and it did not actually start the Notepad. So is that because I didn't add it to the path, or?
Possibly, just use a different text editor.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to use Notepad++. I was just saying that's more for the others. You can use, like, if you use Emacs, that's another one I can.
Yeah, actually, I want to use
open it.
Notepad. That was the one I installed, but it would just not respond. I installed the Notepad.
But you couldn't get it to work. You may have to add it to the path. I don't know if you did.
I suppose that might be the reason.
So let me just show right quick here. I can open it with I can open that same file. So a TXT there is just plain text. It means that it's not like binary code. And you can open up a plain text file with many different kinds of programs. So another one that I could use, if I type Emacs, Emacs is a different editor that I've used in the past. I do not suggest that you guys use that one. But then if I type mars.txt, this will open it with Emacs. And it'll take a minute to run. And you see Emacs open up here on my computer, and it shows the same file, which I can then close. I could also do it with regular Notepad, I think. Yeah. Okay, and oh no, that didn't work right. Interesting. Yeah, I've got some problem with trying to run Notepad from the command prompt. I think if and now actually, if I just type mars.txt, it will use whatever default program you have for text files to open it, which on mine is Notepad++ right now. All right, but anyway, you can see it. You can open and close the file. Everybody, any other questions about that?
So, Professor, I have a question. For the untracked files, if you have more than the mars.txt, what does that mean?
Do you have another file in the folder?
Yeah, I have a lot of folders that says.
So what you need to do is, why don't you? So it means that you didn't go into that new folder when you were at the command prompt. It sounds like. So let me go back to mine and let's see if we can get this figured out real quick here. So right now I am inside C:users GitHub planets. What you needed to do, or what I was hoping you would do, was to create a new folder called planets that was empty, and then to go inside that folder. It sounds like you're not inside that. Like if I go cd ... up to a higher level, if I do that twice, now I'm at documents. And if I hit dir, there's a whole bunch of stuff in this folder here, okay?
Okay.
I don't want to run Git. I don't want to keep track of all that folder. I want to make a new one that's specifically for this project that I'm going to work in, okay? So what you got to do is you need to go back, and so now I'm going to go back to my GitHub and then cd into planets. And now from here, the only thing that's in there is that Mars file. Does that sounds like you didn't make the folder and go inside of it. Does that answer your question, or?
Yes, it does make sense. So I'm gonna try to do that now.
Okay. And so when you do that, you'll still need to type git init, because it's going to make an init folder inside that directory to keep track of it.
Okay.
Okay. And so just, I guess, give that a shot and let me know if you're still stuck in a minute. Okay, so now anyway, we created this new file. We're trying to keep track of it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make a save point where we're going to save that we've created this new file. So I'm going to put Git Add. So the word add is going to mean I'm going to stage something for changes. And then at this point, you can actually hit tab, I think, and it will automatically add whatever thing is there, mars.txt, or you can type it out. Or at any point, you can hit the tab and it should auto-complete it for you. Okay, so I hit Git Add, and you'll see that like on mine here, it went from this red one, all this is kind of showing me a little bit about what's going on. But so we made a change here. And if I do now again, Git Status, like what is my current status? It says we still have not made any save points. We haven't made a commit, which is a save point. but there's this new file and it's ready to be committed. So it could be that you make some changes and then you add those, and then you make a few other changes to something else and you add those and a few more, and you can add. And when you're ready to save it, then you're going to do a commit, okay? So get something ready to be saved, and then committing it writes the save point. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, and so when I'm ready to save, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say git commit, and then I can just stop right there and it will make a commit for me. I can also optionally add this -m, and then -m means I'm going to leave a message. Okay, and so this is going to say added changes or added description of Mars. This is going to be like a description of what I did up to that last save point. Okay, and hit enter. And so what this says is that one file was changed, and it basically wrote that. And so if I type Git Status again, it shows me that I'm up to date, that there's been no changes since the last save point. Okay, was everybody able to get that change made? And if not, let me know. Any questions about that? Were you, thumbs up, you able to write that change to history? Anybody, any issues? Okay. So let's now, let's see, what are we gonna do next? So we can type git log, and git log is gonna show us all the history of changes that have been made since we started recording history. And so what this shows you here is it created this very long ID number here for that commit that we just made. It shows me who made the change and when. And then it also should have, yeah, it has the description here. This is the description that I gave it right up here of what those changes were, okay? So what we're gonna do now is let's make another change. So I'm gonna open up the Mars file again, which you can do by just opening it up from an Explorer or from the command line. I'm gonna just open it from Explorer. And so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna hit enter, go to the next line, and then I'm going to add some more information here. Let's see. What do I wanna do next here? Git init, status, and the 2 moons may be a problem. Okay, so line 2 here, I'm going to put the 2 moons may be a problem. Mars has 2 moons. I'm going to save that and I'm going to close it. And now when I go back to Git here, I can type Git Status, and it's going to show me now that, hey, I made changes to this file, okay? And I haven't saved those yet. So now if I want to save those changes, I'm going to do Git Add, and then I can just hit the tab button and it'll fill it in automatically. Okay, and then I can do Git Commit -m added concerns about moons. That's going to be the message that I'm going to associate with that change. Okay, and now if I type Git Log, it's going to show me both of the changes that I've made. So this is the most latest change is listed first, added concerns about the moons. This is the ID number of that change, okay? And then this is the ID number of the last change, and it shows the first one. So this will show me the whole history of all the changes that I've made so far to the file. Okay, any questions? Is everybody able to open it up and make a second commit and view that in the log? If not, let me know right now. Thumbs up? Anybody? Okay. Okay. All right. So if let's say that we want to look at the changes that happened between 2 points in time. So I have this very long commit here, and then I have this one. Let's say I want to see what happened. You can use a command called git diff, which means show me the difference. It's like subtraction of like this point in time and the last point in time. I can look at the difference. And then I can, so if I don't put anything after this, it'll show me the differences since the last change. So right there, there's nothing, right? Because the last save point, I haven't changed anything. I can also do git diff, and then what I can do is to go to the last one, I can type head -1 and then head -2. Like basically head -1, head -2 is the last save point, the one before it, and the one after that, okay? Oh, crud, that didn't work right. Let's see. I did something wrong. This is again where I don't use this very often. What was the problem? Let me try it with the whole path first. Let's see, git diff. So you can copy this whole crazy long thing. Now you can do this from a browser, from the command prompt. If you highlight it in left and then right click, that will copy it. It should from PowerShell. So I copy that long thing, and then I can copy this one too. Right click, and then right click again and hit enter. So this shows me the difference. You should be able to do it with head. I'm not sure what went wrong there. But anyway, what this is showing is basically it's showing that the red is subtracted and then the green is new. So this shows, I don't know why it doesn't just show the new one, but it shows that I deleted this part and that this is what I added basically. Maybe I need to put those backwards. Okay, any other questions? Oh, this is a new one from Hiba. So your current branch master does not have any commits yet. Okay, so Hiba, so what is the output when you type pwd? You can copy it and then right click and then paste it in the like that. So see, you're in desktop. You need to you need to create one called planets. So you need to run mkdir planets. That's going to create the directory. Then you need to go inside that. Then you need to do cd planets. Okay, and then do those two things, and then type pwd and print what it says up here again. Okay, but let's see. Yeah, but so you need to create it first. mkdir planet. Oh, so okay. So the second one, you made one called planets with an S and you left the S off. Oh, so it already exists. So the message up here says that it already exists. Okay, so what you need to do is just do cd and then planets. If instead of typing it, use the tab. Okay, maybe you can go into a breakout room with Boya. Okay. Were you guys going to go into a breakout room? Okay. Anyway, well, you can come back and still pick up, I think, in a minute. Okay, so everybody else, let's see here. Git add all, commit changes. Okay, so we looked at how you could run a diff between two. Okay. Okay, so we made a change. Let's make one more change here. So I'm going to open that file back up, and I'm going to put the low humidity is nice. Okay. I'm going to paste that, and I'm going to save this file. Okay. And before I commit the change, I'm going to do git diff. And so this will, again, show me the changes that I've made since the last save point. Okay, so it shows me Yeah, the white one shows it as not being changed. Then for some reason it shows that I deleted this one and then re-added it. I don't know why it's doing that, but in any case, this shows you all the changes since the last version. Okay. You can use, there's a command called reset. This is a good one to remember. If I type git reset, oh wait, no, well, let's see, what happens if I do reset? Git status. Yeah, it's still going to show me that. So let's say that let's now add those changes. So I do git add, and then it's mars.txt again. Okay, so this shows me that it's now, if I run status, it's ready to be committed to history. But let's say that I decided not to save that change after all. I can hit git reset, and that will undo that adding. Okay, so if I do git status now, it goes from being ready to be uploaded to being gone. Okay. Hib, if you're still here, you can go into the waiting room. I think Bo-Young went in there. He may be able to work with you one-on-one.
Me? No.
You came back?
Well, actually, my Zoom freeze.
Okay, it had nothing to do with that. Okay, never mind. Okay, anyway, so you use reset to basically undo the changes. So key thing here is you make changes, you add the changes, and then you commit them to memory, and then you can go back and look at all these changes over time. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop there with that part of it. I want to show you real quickly, like I've made lots of changes. Let's look at, say, the last changes that I made in PyHSPF. So you can make all these changes on the GitHub website, and you can see them all here. This has got 169 commits. So I've done a save basically 169 times. If I click that, and then I go in here and say, look at the last commit, I can click on it. This repository has like hundreds of files on it, but it shows me that here in this file called delineators, that I got rid of this line down here, line 530, and I changed it to this on the right, red and green. I changed this save file to close. You know, anyway, it shows me all the changes. So this way I can see exactly what was done when I'm trying to keep track of like changes to something over time, okay? So does that make sense? Any questions about that? So what we're looking at is on the command line. Oh no, I don't know that I hit record. I meant to record it. Or maybe I did. Okay, I recorded it, yeah. Okay, I will, yeah, if you guys have to go. Okay, so it shows us changes here with like this, on mine at least, it's a red and green font. You can see the same things on the GitHub website. So let's talk about how you can interact now with your GitHub website. So let's go, everybody go to your version of GitHub. So right here, you see I'm inside of my PyHSPF software. I'm gonna go up a level to my full, this is my full profile, and then I'm gonna click on repositories. You should have repositories there too. And actually, I created this one as a practice. Let me delete that one. I think you can delete it with settings. Let me delete it and then make it again. Yeah. So it's possible to delete, but they really want you to save everything. It's like, don't do this. Now it's asking me for my password. Okay. Okay, so that one should be gone. Let me go back to mine now. Where am I? DJ Lampert. Okay, and repositories. Okay, and so what I'm going to do now, what I want you to do is let's make a new repository on the web. So it's a key idea you have to remember is that there's GitHub on the web and then there's GitHub stuff on your computer. And you want those two to talk to each other. So I'm going to make a new directory here, and I'm going to call it planets. Okay? And it shows me that it's available, and you should be able to make one too. Your version of planets can be different than mine. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and create it as it is. Okay, and so now we've got this new thing, planets, but it's basically empty. Everybody let me know if you were able to go onto your GitHub website and create a new repository called planets. I had to delete my old one because I want you to follow along, but you should have been able to make your own. Let's see here. Any questions? Was everybody able to do that? Thumbs up. Okay. So now what we need to do, so that one up there doesn't know the one on my computer exists, right? So we need to connect those two together. All right, so we're gonna do that by, let's see, create repository planet. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go back to the command line and we are gonna type git remote add origin, and then we need to paste there the value of the HTTP address for our remote repository. So git remote is talking about interacting with a remote repository, which means on the internet. And what I'm doing now is I'm saying I'm adding an origin. I'm adding a thing called origin, and origin is going to be equal to that online repository. So so mine that I just created is right here. You could copy that from there, or you can just hit this little button over here, and that will copy it without any spaces to make sure it's right. Okay, and you should be able to just paste that then here and hit enter. Okay, and then you can type git remote -v, and it now shows that we've set up this remote one that we're going to interact with there that we can use. Yours should not say DJ Lampert. That's my username. Yours should say your own. Everybody let me know if that worked or if you had any trouble. Okay, any questions? So now we're ready to interact with our online version, okay? And so the next thing we need to do is we're going to do git. This is where we may run into trouble. I hope we don't. But git push origin master. Okay, so master, the word master here refers to like our master branch of changes that we've made. Okay, and origin is the thing we just said is our online website. And so we're pushing to origin what's on master. And it may ask you for like a login when you do that, okay? So right now mine is working. Okay, and it worked for me. It shows that it pushed to this location, it pushed 6 things, and I should be able to now go on there. And if I refresh this page, or if I just go up here to planets, now it shows this mars.txt file that I can click on and it shows what I wrote there. Okay, and everybody let me know if you were able to do that. Were you able to set up a connection to your online website and push there? If you weren't, let me know right now.
Yeah, I typed in the code and the comment, and I press enter, and it was like stopped, freeze, or just doesn't show anything. Yeah.
Yours is frozen.
Yeah.
Oh boy. There's so many things that can go wrong. So one of the big issues here is security. So you don't want somebody to be able to write to your repository or to somebody else's. And this stuff makes it very easy for you, every individual person, to have a different problem that it's hard. It's very hard for me to diagnose. So, okay. So how did you push your changes for CapSim up there before?
Oh, I just do that totally through the web
browser interface.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It's still frozen now, or it gave you an error message?
It's just still frozen. Actually, it was it just doesn't show anything, and I couldn't type anything as well. It just stopped there.
Did anybody else have this problem? Was anybody else able to successfully push? Yeah, so that's really strange. The one thing I can tell you that's easier is, why don't you try this, Xiaolong, really quick.
Yep.
So what we did is we created one online and we created one here, and then we tried to connect them.
Yep.
It's actually easier if you make it online and then pull it onto your local one, and then the connection will already exist. So what you can do is rename your planets folder
Yep.
To some other name, and then go up a level. And the next thing that we're going to try to do is to clone a repository. So cloning is what you do when you copy somebody else's. So right now, this is all our own creation, okay? And you can clone your repo instead of typing that git remote add origin or whatever. You should be able to type, let me go. These things, so where to do this. So I can type git clone, and then I can paste that link, and it should then go onto that one and get it. Cloning into planets.
Yeah, I'll try that.
Let's see if that works. And so I was able to do it. And so on mine now, if you look here, within my planets directory, it's made basically a copy of the whole thing inside there.
I can do that.
That worked?
That works.
Okay, so now what you want to do is go into the directory. So cd into the directory.
Yep.
And then make a change. So actually, why don't we come back to yours, because everybody else is going to do this, but I have a different exercise. Okay, so it's good. It sounds like you can work from there going forward.
Yeah.
So let's look at cloning. So what we did now, for those of you that got it to work, is we made an online one. We did it locally. We learned how to add changes, and we learned how to put those on the web. So let's say that you want to go work with somebody else's code. Let's look at mine. Navigate to, I'll post this in the bar here. Go to this directory that I created called Streeter Phelps. This is a little Jupyter notebook that I put together to show you that you could run the Streeter Phelps model, okay, using Python. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it into the chat here, if I can find it. Where is the chat? I cannot find the stinking chat. Where is it? Oh. About to drive me crazy. Ah, here it is. I had to go up to the top. There it is. Okay. Oh, Boyang, you got it already. Perfect. Excellent. Yeah, so go there. And so let's say that you want to copy that one. So now what you can do is you could go to the code, and then down here it talks about cloning the HTTPS one, and you can copy that, okay? And then you should be able to then go to the command prompt and type git and then clone, and then just paste. You can right click and paste, or you can Control V or something. And if you do that, it should, I'm not going to hit enter right there actually. Let me go up a level. Inside planets. So I'm here inside planets. So right now, if you look at what's in my directory, I don't have that Streeter Phelps. So I'm going to clone it myself. So git clone and then that, and it should go in there. And now if I type dir or ls again, it's copied the contents of that directory onto my computer locally. Now I can go inside there and I can look at what's in that directory. And one of the things that's in there is a web page, okay, a Chrome HTML document that you can open up on your computer. Should look something like this. So everybody, let me know if you were able to clone Streeter Phelps onto your computer, go into the directory, and open up the web page that's there.
Could you show how to, where's the clone button to get the,
it should be, okay, if you're looking at it again, hopefully you can see my screen.
Yep. I just missed that part.
Yeah, no problem. I know it can be fast. So, okay, if you're looking at it now,
Yeah.
there's this code button here, and this shows you, there's the copy right there. You can also try to select it yourself. You can also do it with Secure Shell, but don't do that for now. I don't know what this is. So this is one of these things, the security is constantly changing because of hackers and things. And it is really important that you want it to be secure when you're working with these things. You don't want somebody else to be able to go in and change it, right?
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, that's the address. Hopefully you were able to get that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you, okay, so you can clone it from there. I realize I told you guys not what I wanted you to do. So cloning it, that's one option. You can clone it. Let me see. Yeah. Another option is you can fork it. So if you and I are going to work together on something, we might have the same starting code, okay? Then you make a fork, meaning your version is going to start to look different than mine. And then we want to merge those forks back together. So that's the way you would typically collaborate. You would fork it, okay? And so you should be able to fork Streeter Phelps by hitting this button right here. I don't know what happens if I try to fork my own, but if you do that, it should be very easy. And so instead of saying DJ Lampert Streeter Phelps, now it should say your username and Streeter Phelps. Everybody go in and fork it, and then go ahead and click on your version of it and see if you can get there. Let me know if that works out.
Where's the fork?
The fork button is up on the top right here. If you're looking at the screen, you can, so if you're looking at somebody else's repository, you can mark it as a favorite. You can watch it. If you watch it, that means that it will send you updates. You'll get emails of updates whenever they do a commit, basically. Okay, and you can hit fork. That means you can create your own version if you want to change it. Like, say you want to fix a bug for somebody's code, you can make your version of it, make the changes, and then you can tell them to add those changes back later. Okay, was everybody able to fork? Any other questions there? Okay, so once you forked it, what I want you to do now is go back and delete the version of Streeter Phelps that's on your computer. Okay, so if you have this here, go ahead and delete that. I'm not going to delete mine, but you delete yours. And what I want you to do is then clone it from your fork. Okay, so you will not have the ability to push to my fork because it's mine. I don't want you to be able to make changes without my permission, right? But once you fork it, then you can do whatever you want with your fork. So what we want to do is create a connection between your online Streeter Phelps and your local one on your computer. Okay, so to do that, remember again, you type git clone, and then you're going to need to go find this thing within your version of Streeter Phelps. Everybody let me know if you got that to work. Anybody have any trouble with that, or anybody get it to work? Okay, and so now go into that folder and open up and verify that you got everything there. You should be able to double click on the Chrome HTML document, and it should bring something up if you're looking at the screen that looks like this. Okay, so this is basically like a static Jupyter notebook that I created to show you how you can set up a model in Python for something. And you can do all this cool stuff, the Jupyter notebook, where you can have values that you run to use to change it, and then you can see how it changes the output all in one like combined thing in a web browser. But you should have something that looks like this. Let me know if you were able to do that or if you ran into trouble. Trouble, anybody? Everybody good? Okay, so now what we want to do is, let's say you want to make a change to Streeter Phelps, okay? So this gets back to where Shalom was at before. So now go in and just create a file in here in your version of Streeter Phelps called, make a new text file. You can do it from the command line or however you want to do it, and call that, what did I suggest to call it? Okay, so Streeter Phelps, color.txt. Yeah, make a new file. Call the file color.txt. If it's a text file, you don't have to add the txt. and then in the file, go in and put down what your favorite color is. Okay, I'm going to put blue in mine, and I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to close that. Okay. And when you've done that, now let's say that you want to save that change. Okay, was everybody able to do that? Let me know if you had any trouble. So now what we want to do is we want to save that change. So what do we do? Somebody tell me, what would you do next to save that?
Commit.
Before you commit, what do you have to do? So we're going to do git add. So if I go look, so now when you go into that directory from the command prompt, okay? So right now I'm in GitHub. I'm going to type ls, and I can see Streeter Phelps right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cd into Streeter Phelps. Okay, and now I'm going to type Git Status. Okay, and so what this shows me is it says, hey, when I downloaded it, it downloaded all the history also onto my computer of that program. Okay, I can type Git Log and I can see that. You see how it has all these changes that I made to it when I was working on it, a couple of years ago. Oh, by the way, if it has a long log like this, to go back, you have to hit the Q button. Okay. Anyway, that'll show you all the changes. But what just happened is I made this change to create that color file, and you did too. And so now you need to do Git Add, and then you hit color.txt, and now that should be ready for commitment. Okay. And so then to commit it, I do git commit -m, and then I could say added my favorite color. Okay. And so now, now it should be saved on that computer, on your version, on your computer. Okay, was everybody able to get that done? Let me know if you got stuck. Anybody get stuck there? Okay, so now if you go back and look at your version online, is it going to have that change to the color? Oh, the chat. The chat doesn't, mine keeps closing on me automatically. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, if you have to leave, no problem. I'll put the recording up. Hopefully we can wrap this up in about 10 or 15 minutes here. We were a little slow getting started. Okay, so were you guys able to commit? And so now the question is this on your online repository right now?
No, it's not.
Why is it not on the online one?
Because you have to push it?
Because we have to push it, exactly. So there's our online version, and then there's our local version. What we're going to do typically when you work on it, you don't want to be working on GitHub. You want to be working on your computer. When you're done with making changes, then you want to send those back to the internet. Okay. Now we need to push. So once you've done the commitment, okay, what do we do? You should be able to just type git push origin master. I believe that's, let me double check that. And I don't really want to push my own changes because I don't want to save those changes to mine. But if you do git push origin master, I think, keep having to minimize this to see my notes. Let's see. Yeah, was anybody able to get that to push? Once you've done that, then when you go back to your web page, you should be able to see that change. That new file should be there. Okay, let's see here. Was anyone able to get that to work? Boyoung, you get it to work? Hossein?
Yeah, mine is frozen again.
So you're having some kind of problem with your security.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but you'll have to figure that out. Do you have two-factor authentication?
Sorry?
Do you have a two-factor authentication where you have your phone?
No, probably I don't set it up. You mean which email? For which one?
Yeah, GitHub is a way that you can use your phone where it sends you a message whenever there's a new login as a security thing. If you have that, then it makes it harder. You have to use like a token. I had to deal with this yesterday. Well, that's unfortunate. You're not able to get the security thing. I'm trying to think of how we can address this going forward. Man, because you're the most important one of all. We got to be able to work together on this. Let's see.
Yeah, I'll check.
So, but that's even from the one that you downloaded, right? From your.
Finally, it gave me an arrow saying that authentication prompt was canceled. So I have to type in something like username and password.
It used to bring up a little window where you would log into GitHub and then it would have the connection. I don't know why, it's hard.
Yeah. Actually, it prompted one small window, but I just closed. I thought it was from
So it was asking you for your login. We'll see if you can get that to work.
Okay, I just redo it.
Okay, so there's lots of other.
I needed the token.
Yeah, there should be a way that you can like get a token. God, I hate to stop. I really want you to be able to do this with us here.
Okay, it's done. Yeah, I just have to click on sign in there, and then everything's good. Yeah. So let me see if it's there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's uploaded. So
you got it. You got it online. Yeah. Okay, good. So you're able to push. Okay, excellent. Okay. So last thing, so what we talked about, so remember the key thing so far is we do git init, that creates a new repository and it's writing all the history of changes. You add to create something that once you do things, you add them until you're ready. And then when you're ready, you write a commit. That's creating a save point. Then you have the save point and we can write that back and forth to the online repository. Online, there could be my version, your version, lots of versions, okay? So then we have to figure out how to make those things work together. So let's do the last exercise here is I want us all to try to make a change to the thing and merge those together. So let me try to do that now. Okay. Okay, so we practice with you getting another repository, you forking it. Okay, so I made another repo called Git Intro Exercise that is on my page. So let's see, repositories, Git Intro Exercise. So you should be able to go to that. Let me put it in the chat, okay? And what I want you to do is I want everyone to fork this, okay? Everybody create your fork right now by hitting the fork button and going there, okay? Everybody let me know if you're able to get to that point. Follow along. Does everybody got the fork? Okay, and so now what I want you to do is I want you to clone your fork onto your computer. Okay, so I'm gonna have to clone it on mine because I think I deleted it. Close this window here. cd ... Okay, so yeah, git intro exercise. See, it's not here. So I'm going to clone my version. You need to make sure that you're cloning from your fork. Okay, git clone, and I'm going to copy mine from right here. Okay, and paste it, and now it's cloning into that. Okay, and then I'm going to cd into git intro exercise. And I'm going to hit ls, and you'll see that it has a folder in there that has all the names of the countries. And you should be able to go in, and you don't have to do this from the command prompt. You can go in from Windows Explorer into Git Intro Exercise, and you should go into the countries, and it has a different file for like every country in the world in there. Everybody let me know when you have cloned your version, not my version, not my fork, but your fork, and gone in and into that directory, and you can see those files. Let's see, where is the... Was everybody able to do that? Hossein? Monica? Hiba, did you get stuck, or are you still? Because I'm going to ask everybody to do something now. So what I want everybody to do is pick a country. Let's do, well, we got multiple people from the same country here. So how about Xiaolong can do China, and Boyang, you can do, why don't you do Egypt?
Okay.
Hossein, you can do Iran. Prashik and Monica, you guys are both from India, right? Is that right? Or
Yeah, we both are from India.
so pick. So Monica, you can do India, and then Prashik is gone, right? Okay, so he can't do it. Hiba, and I actually don't know where are you from, Hiba? Saudi Arabia. Okay, so you can do Saudi Arabia. So there should be a file in there for each of those countries, and I'll do the USA, okay? And go in, and it has asked you for like the capital, the population. Go in and change that in the file, okay? So I'm gonna do mine. You guys do your country. Okay, and it's asking me for the population. And it's okay if you're not exactly right on the numbers. Okay, so I made my changes. And so now what I want to do is I want to save my changes to my local repository. Okay, so that means that I need to go into Git, and I'm going to commit those changes on my version on my computer first, and you need to do the same thing for yours. Okay, so I'm going to do Git Add, and if I hit, let's see, actually I'm going to do Git Status. All right, so it shows that this file within the country subdirectory was changed. I'm going to do Git Add, and then countries/USA.md. MD stands for Markdown. Those are like a kind of file we could talk about at some other time. And so I added that change, and now I'm going to commit that change. Updated USA is going to be the name of my commitment, okay? And then I'm going to do git push origin master. And, oh boy, failed to push some references. Interesting. Okay, well, hopefully others were able to get your changes. Is it git push origin master? Am I remembering wrong? It should work. I don't understand what happened here. Okay, well, was anybody able to get your changes uploaded?
I have the same error as you, but if I don't type origin master, I just git push. Yeah.
Did it work?
Yeah, it works.
Interesting. It could be that there's some confusion on what those terms mean between GitHub. So let me try that too. Let me try that also. Git push. Okay, good. So it worked for me. And so now I should be able to go in here, and if I like refresh this, I can see this change here, which I can click on, and you guys can see if you're looking at the screen right now that I added the population US, capital language, okay, something like that. And you should be able to go and see your changes also. One other thing that I can see is fork here. If I click this, I can see that each of you guys has forked my repository. Okay. Was everybody able to use git push then to get your stuff pushed back to the web?
Yeah, but Manuel, where can I see the change from the web?
Yeah, so if you go
Okay.
on to GitHub, if you're looking at mine, so Git, okay. So if you're looking at this right here, this shows me all the commits, first of all. You can see them here.
Okay.
Then you can click on the commit. So the initial commit, it'll show you that like basically everything was added because it was empty before. All this stuff got added, right? Updated USA, you can see it will show you the changes that were made since the last commit. And this is what's on mine. You can also see this. Typically, the last commit will be available right there kind of at the top. This little thing here is the number for the commit. Was everybody able to make your changes? Boyan, Hossein? Okay, so what needs to happen now? What's the next step then? So what I want to do is we want to be able to get everybody here having everybody else's updates, right? So what you need to do now, I didn't really have a way to practice this before today, and I don't have much practice, but let's see if we can do it. So I have the master branch because all of yours are forks of my main one, all right? So what you need to do now is you need to create a pull request. So you push it, okay, to the web. And what you're saying is a pull like, hey, you're asking me to pull your changes into my version. So there should be a button in there for you to create a pull request to me, and then it will show up on my version and I can accept your changes. So let me see if I can find that on mine. I don't remember. Pull requests. And yeah, you should be able to create a pull request here. So in your thing, under pull request, you click this. What that's going to do is should send me a message saying, hey, I made changes that you should accept. Then I can see them and I can accept those changes. So everybody try to do that right quick and let's see if that works. Any questions? Anybody do it already?
Yeah, I already sent a
Let me refresh and see if it shows up. Okay, perfect. Your changes to Egypt here, you see how they show up here from on mine saying, hey, Xiaolong did some changes and he's requested, he thinks that these will improve my thing. And so now I can choose to accept those. And I think I can view the changes. If I click this, I should be able to go in and see. And so one of the things it says that it doesn't conflict, like you didn't change Egypt and I also changed Egypt. So there's no conflict. It should be no problem. Let's see, and I can see your commit and right here. Yeah, so I can see that you added in some information about Egypt here, okay? So now let me go back to mine and pull requests. And so now I can accept it. So he's the only one that's gotten that far. Is anybody else ready to make your pull request for me? So what we want is for everybody to make their changes in my version and then I can send it back to you.
Do I request pull on your page?
Yes.
Or,
Xiaolong, do you want to show us how you did it? Can you do a screen share? I don't know if
yeah, sure. So I just I'll just share screen. I'm not able to. I have to.
I'm trying to find the settings here. Stop share. Let me see here. Okay, you should be able to share now.
Yeah, actually, it's a little bit different than the first time I was trying to make a pull request, but I guess
why don't you update another one now? Go in
okay.
and it doesn't have to be very long. Go into your computer and do another country. And then you can show us the steps. For anybody else that's having trouble, go ahead and just show everybody the steps. That'd be great. So go back into your country's directory and change Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
First they share my screen. Change the screen.
I'm looking at your screen now.
But you're just looking at. I guess you're just looking at one of the windows.
Yeah.
I have to
do this and then show if you don't mind.
I have to change the whole screen.
Yeah.
And so what I have to do is I just click on my document.
Oh, I think I did.
Okay, let me go check. I'll check on mine and see that it worked. Yeah, I have a pull. It's just called pull request.
I just have my
very descriptive name. So yeah, when you make a pull request, you should tell me what you changed so that I kind of have some understanding. The same with your commit messages. Like if you say updated solver or fixed error message when I hit OK, you want to put that in there so that I kind of understand what you did and that it's easy to find it later. If you, in fact, sometimes you may have made a change and then we realize later that we have to undo that change. It's good to be able to find it. Okay, so he's going in, he's changing the Canada file.
I spell it right, but
yeah, you can leave this over blank here. Cold. Yeah.
Cold. Meaningful thing. Okay, so
now you need to commit the change. Let me see. Hussein. I don't see it still, Hussein. I've only got I've got Boyang and Xiaolong. Oh no, wait, no, I got it. I got it, Hussein. Good. Okay, so it shows there that he changed it. Now you have to use Git Add. Yeah. Okay, and then Git Commit, and then like added Canada or something, -M. Yeah, you have to put -M.
Oh, wait.
Well, now -M is saying that I'm adding a message and the message is in quotes after that.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so now you change it and then git push to push it to your repo. Git push.
I always forgot to.
Always git, yeah.
I just further on it.
Yeah, sometimes it's slow. Okay, and so now then you can go to your web page and you can create a new pull request.
That one. So I just come here and
so I think you need to be on your, right now you're looking at my version.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'm going to accept your first pull request here.
Okay, so pull request.
I'm going to go down here and it says there's no conflict, so I'm going to hit merge pull.
So.
And now when I go back, it should, yeah. So I have merged your first change and I'll show that.
So I think I sent to, no, not yet.
Well, now it's on, so you thought you did it for mine? Hussein and Boyang, did you guys make the pull request on mine or did you do that from your version on the web?
From mine, I think.
Yeah, actually, it should be from.
So right now, you got to go up to your version. You got to find that. So Git intro exercise. Yeah, click on that. So right now, you're still on mine.
No, well, actually, when I try to click on the create a pull request, it just automatically jumps to yours.
Click. Go back to that last thing. And then Xiaolong Git intro exercise. Click that. Click on that. Yes. Now it's in your version.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when I click on create a pull request, it just directly jumps to yours.
Okay.
Yeah, it jumps to yours.
It jumps to mine. Okay. And then,
and I think I probably have already pulled both of them, because my first time when I click on the pull create a pull request, I do have something here. Which is updated and
okay.
And after I guess it's already been sent, so that's why it does not show anything.
Yeah, there should be a green button and it's saying that create a new request or something like that, but it doesn't show.
Okay. Let me accept the other two. So I've got this one from Hossein. Let me go back to we're almost done here. Okay, so you guys should be looking at mine again. So here's Hossein's pull request. Here's what I see, okay? When I click on it, it shows these pull requests. Oh, now there's a new one here.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, no, that one I thought I already accepted that one. All right.
Yeah, maybe just for, under the same name. But
okay.
I do have the updated one.
So I can confirm merge. Okay, and now I can go, yeah, commit. So I can go in here and I can like actually see what he did on his version. So here's the info on Iran. It was changed. Okay, so let me go back to my pull request. So I have one open pull request here from Bo Yang. So I click that. Oh, this one says it has conflicts. Oh, you guys both changed Egypt.
Yeah.
So it has a way to do this. So yeah, so I have to like choose which one of these. I wasn't going to go into this today, but it's a good exercise too. Let me see. If I want to accept your changes, how do I do this? Now there's a way that you can resolve the changes. Oh, you guys made it so hard for me here. I was not going to try to get into this today. I just wanted you to have an idea of how this works.
Yeah. And I think I have to like leave within 5 minutes.
Yeah, no problem. So let me see if I can make a. There is a way for me to. I've got a meeting at 1, 2, and I need to eat lunch. So, okay, so it ran long, but hopefully this gave you an idea of kind of how GitHub works, okay? And I mean, yeah, you don't have to use the command line. I think it's possible to avoid that, but it is good to have an understanding of how it works. So remember the key things are that you can clone the repositories, you can add them, you have commits that you use. You can use the commits to see changes, and it has a way to go back in time. There's a lot of very, very complicated stuff that I have used so little that I don't have it off the top of my head. And then it's possible. So the idea on this exercise that we would all push it together, then I would send those back out to you. That way everybody can be working on different things and we kind of all have the same version in the end. That's the idea. And so again, if we're going to be working on this caption thing, it would be very helpful for us. If you were doing some other kind of software, I would suggest that you make a GitHub repo always, and that you push your changes there, and you know, that's a good way for you to keep track of what you're doing. So anyway, thank you guys. We can meet again sometime if we start doing this and we need to talk about, you know, it's great practice to go through this, because most of the time it's just me pushing to my own repo, but doing this exercise is really helpful. So maybe we'll do it again this summer if we need to. Thanks, Xiaolong. I'm looking forward to working with you guys. I have a lot of ideas for some things we can do with it.
Wow,
and
that's
I want
great.
to learn more about what you guys changed too. So
Yeah.
we'll be in contact. Okay, any last questions, or are we ready to go? Okay, let me hit the stop recording. Okay.